Brooklyn Independent Television.
We're here at Starett City Boxing Club in Starett City, and with me today is an honor to have welterweight contender Dmitriy Salita. Dmitry, welcome.
Thank you, good to be here.
It's been quite a number of years, right?
It's been a couple of years.
Yeah, last time we were in the studio and always wanted to come out to the gym.
Last time I was in your home, now you're in my home.
That's right, I'm in your home, in your office. What's been happening? How have you been doing lately?
Well, everything has been going okay. I've formed my own boxing promotional company, and the last 3 fights that I had were under my own banner. I promoted 5 boxing shows last year. So 3 of them I fought on, and 2 of them were different shows. A couple of boxers that came from Starett City Boxing that fought on the shows, and a couple of top prospects from New York. So it's good to be on, kind of get a feeling of the other side of the business. And I've been in boxing really since I'm a very young boy. And Starett City is really, one of the centers, has been one of the centers of boxing talent. So I've been around. I've been around boxing and boxing businesses.
As far as career, as far as boxing, inside the ring, when are you fighting again?
Well, last year I fought 3 times in 8 months, which was a very busy schedule. And
that's unusual, because
that's
most
unusual
fighters,
at this stage of my career, yeah. And I wanted to get sharp, and I wanted to get another title opportunity. And I signed to fight for a world title in September of last year, and the fight was supposed to happen in November. But then the boxer that signed to fight me, his name is Ismail Massaoudi of France. He pulled out of the fight. He didn't want to really honor his agreement. So since that time, we've been going back and forth, and it's been really a complicated and difficult situation for me, because I've been out of the ring for longer than I expected, or longer than I wanted. And by now I was hoping that I'd be making my defense. You know what I mean? So. That situation is still in process, so I really don't have a date for my next fight.
You think hopefully sometime later on this spring?
I hope so, but I got to stay in the gym, so I'm in my home in Starett City Boxing Club.
Who were some of your toughest opponents also over the course of the year, or since the last time we spoke? Because you won a title, right?
I won 5 different titles. Every opponent is difficult, and probably the most difficult opponent is yourself, because it's very difficult to push yourself to the limits and to push yourself past the uncomfortable stage over and over again. So once you're able to overcome yourself and discomforts and pains, and I think it's like that with everything. You're able to achieve your capacity and achieve the goals that you have in mind.
Now, when you're fighting, are you also promoting your own fights?
A year and a half ago, I formed my own boxing promotion company, and since 2010, 2011, the shows that I fought on were promoted by me. Correct.
Now, it seems to be where a lot of boxers are going these days, especially Golden Boy Productions, Bernard Hopkins, fighters like Oscar De La Hoya. Are they getting away from the promoters who used to be, Bob Arum, Don King? When you get to a certain level and a certain stage in your career, it's kind of easier to maneuver yourself. And Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, did really a fantastic job of being able to use his connections and still, towards the end of his career, kind of use his fame to be able to build his company. And he's really had a great business model of fighters like Bernard Hopkins and Mayweather fight under his banner. So he's done a really good job managing that. Now, in your class, welterweight class, who's in your class right now? The top, you're within the top 10, right? So who's there?
Well, I guess the 2 top guys are Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, but they kind of go up and down. Then there's Andre Berto, there's Vyacheslav Senchenko, who's a champion from the Ukraine, and myself. There's also Paul Malignaggi, who's a New York fighter. He also moved up to welterweight, so he's a former world champion. So there's some talent in the division.
and I think there's a lot of exciting fights to be made.
Is it just as competitive as it used to be when you were first coming up, or how has the game changed also?
Well, I think New York City specifically had a lot of top talent, top prospects. It cooled off over the last couple of years, but now I'm seeing some action again, and the Golden Gloves are happening now, so I'm going to be at the fights checking out some of the prospects coming up. But amateur boxing and amateur programs are so important, and this place here, Starett City Boxing Club, at a certain point when I came up, we had about 3-4 world champions that came out of here at about the same time. So it's very important to cultivate a good kids program, a good program for amateurs where they get an education of boxing and then they're able to compete at the highest of levels as pros.
Are politics killing the game for you?
Oh, politics are terrible, absolutely. It's like the 5 families, there's kind of five, 6 elite promoters that run boxing. And it's very difficult to kind of, break into that. And, there's definitely a lot of politics, and, you see it with the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. And, sometimes when fans see 2 guys not wanting to fight each other, there's really more than that involved because there's so many different people, yeah.
Well, listen, thanks for coming on.
Always a pleasure.
We will keep an eye on your career throughout the year.
Thank you.
We'll hope to have you back on again.
With pleasure, anytime, all the time. And thank you so much for coming to Starett City Boxing Club. When I was a young boy, cameras were in the gym. Even just to get a glimpse was motivational. And you're motivating all these young people over here. That's a great thing. Thank you.
Follow us on Twitter at BK Independent TV.